How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Castilla, the legendary tier Spanish heavy cruiser. Castilla is, I guess, sort of interesting as a cruiser, mainly because you are forced to use this burst mechanic. Uh, but at the same time, I kind of still feel like you're probably going to be better off using any other cruiser that you kind of want to farm with. Uh, just simply put, something like the Henry or the Zhao would simply just be a lot better at doing what I guess you kind of want to do in the Castilla, which is kind of just do that long range farming. And then if you ever do get an opportunity to switch to AP and get something broadside, say a cruiser, then I mean you can deal some battleship-esque damage, which is great, but then you do have sort of a long reload. So to counteract this long reload, I just basically full on built for reload, refill station, and Mimbelli as much as I possibly could. I think I decided to also use Kuznetsov because we don't get beyond range, and in a cruiser that is relatively squishy, you don't really want to take a whole lot of damage in this thing, especially currently in this Preußen and a lot of 457 and 30mm overmatch meta. It's very, very difficult to actually do well. So when you're limited in range, having, what is it, like 15 kilometers or so, and then you are overmatched by majority of battleships, it does kind of suck more often than not. And considering this is a Napoli hull that gets 30 instead of, I think Napoli gets 40 millimeters of armor on its casemate and deck, you definitely do feel the difference quite often. So that is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Being on the flank here though, no battleships, which we're kind of lucky. I think the battleship that's all the way in the back of their spawn, basically in the middle back of their spawn, is a Yamato. So luckily he kind of just went off all the way into the back and isn't really here to support his two cruisers. Enemy Stalingrad getting farmed, unfortunately our AP salvo earlier. He sped up a lot faster than I thought he would, so we only landed one Citadel, but at the same time, one Citadel, kind of wish we got more. Also wish we had punch through on this thing. If we had punch through, then an AP build might actually be pretty interesting. Enemy Hector just charging in and YOLOing in. We're trying to finish off that Stalingrad, but seeing the Hector charge in, we switched to AP. He did pop a super heal. I guess one good thing about the Castilla is that you do have Napoli guns, so 254mm guns you can overmatch basically all super lights, so stuff like Minotaur and Brisbane Hector. Unfortunately, our second salvo there didn't connect, so we're not able to finish him off, so kind of an unfortunate. Enemy Stalingrad just reversing away as quickly as he can. But we're just going to keep pushing in here, since I guess now that there's not really any battleship threats, we can be rather aggressive. Also, being Napoli guns, you can Citadel things like Yamato if you do get close enough, and that's kind of something I wish we also had punch through for, just so we can kind of extend that range that we can Citadel Yamatos, because it's not going to be every day that you can come around a corner or fight a battleship that's broadside. And then the moments that you do, I mean, that small amount of percentage of penetration does kind of make a pretty big difference. Enemy Stalingrad getting absolutely farmed. We set a fire, and unfortunately we also don't get the kill on that Stalingrad. I think that would have been a Witherer for us. Or not Witherer, Arsonist. Enemy Yamato finally pushing in after his teammates are dead. Kind of the norm for a lot of battleship players, push in when their team is dead on the flank. We have a friendly Gdansk here, so luckily we do have support to spot. I could stop here, but at the same time, playing a new ship, we're kind of going for the clips if we can. So we're going to be aggressive here. We are overmatched by the Yamato pretty badly, so we're going to have to bob and weave here and try our best to mitigate as much damage as possible, as that Yamato salvo did basically nothing. Friendly Gdansk dumping torps, and he actually does get spotted by this Yamato, which is kind of funny. I guess that's kind of the norm for destroyers as well, getting spotted by battleships that don't have radar or anything. But Yamato turning broadside to dodge the torpedoes. We're at 8 kilometers. Now is our chance to close the distance and see what we can do with AP. We are pretty far. 7 kilometers without punch through is going to be a little tricky. He's also slightly angled, so we do have to aim under his front turret. We don't lead nearly enough, and we are currently shattering, so that's not great. Second salvo still shatters, but at this point we are getting closer, and he is not really turning his ship. I don't know if he has hands or if he's playing with his feet, but he's just simply sailing broadside. I don't think he quite understands the caliber of these guns, especially because it just came out and that Yamato just got absolutely death struck. We got 9 citadels, which, I mean, those are the clips that we go for, because why not, as we need to record that. But yeah, farming the Stalingrad, Hector, and a Yamato, we have 162,000 damage. I also should note I don't have a ledge mod on this thing yet. I think I just need to play like one more ranked season or something, or just move one of my other ledge mods from my other legendary tier ships, especially the ones I don't play. Like, I don't think we need anything on the Shark because it's a copy pasta Z52, which we already have a ledge mod on, so we don't really need duplicates. Same thing with Alaska Napoli, but we just have them just to have them. Enemy Laffy, the campaign ship. Kind of an interesting camo. Laffy, I think is, I mean, it's okay, but at the same time, there's still a lot of other ships that have a lot more utility, like the Lucian, like the Cat's Honest, that still kind of, in my opinion, outperform the Laffy. Kind of wish they also put it at a tier that actually had carriers, so you could maybe div with it. I mean, that was always my gripe with the Kid. You just couldn't div with the same tier carrier. With it being at tier 6, so unfortunately Laffy is a tier 8, and there's also no carrier to div. I mean, I guess they could technically do a tier 7 with tier 8 DD, but that's like the ultimate chode division there, trying to bring higher tier ships into lower tiers with your lower tier CV. But yeah, only the real sweats do that, but couldn't be me. I would never. But anyway, Alsace, one of the only battleships that don't actually overmatch our casemate in this match. Actually, I think there's more. But Alsace, we're not really that afraid of him, just didn't want to keep pushing in because there is a lot of battleships at sea, and I kind of didn't want to be a little too aggressive, especially with those battleships being unspotted over islands, and then all of a sudden we just get absolutely dumpstered. Unfortunately, Alsace actually turned in instead of reversing away, which he was doing for most of the match. And I guess at this point he decided to charge in because, again, his whole team is dead, so that's the time for battleships to just start YOLOing in. Enemy Louisiana gets spotted full HP. I'm sure he was dropping planes over the island, and now he is finally also just pushing in. Louisiana also can't overmatch our 30, which is great, but we do have to worry about the free crossfire with his consumable planes. Not much we can do to dodge those if we're trying to dodge battleship AP by angling, so we're just going to have to pray that we can either slow down in time and not get dev struck. But we're going to keep pushing in and hope that our DD spots the Louisiana, which he does. So we can start farming this Louisiana. I will say though, the Castilla having 254s, you can pen 38. So you can actually do some pretty nasty damage to American battleships, especially this Louisiana with a 30 casemate, 38 plane deck, sorry. And I mean, just an absolutely massive tumor that you're actually allowed to farm, which is pretty crazy to think about. Also, considering we finally maxed out our reload mod, I think we have like a 12-second reload, which is pretty good. Although, I don't know, still having this burst fire thing is a little weird. Never mind, it's 13 seconds, maybe 14. But Louisiana starting to charge in. He's kind of ignoring our friendly Gdansk, and I mean, there's not much Louisiana can do at this point. Kind of unfortunate, he's so healthy. Kind of wish he just reversed away and we just farmed him over the island. But at this point, he's obviously going to get YOLO torped, and Louisiana goes down. There's another enemy battleship at sea, kind of running off to the border. They still have a destroyer that has been unspotted for this entire match, so I'm sure he was going off on an adventure. Actually, never mind, he was actually spotted at D. I lied. But yeah, Louisiana drops torps on the other battleship, and yeah, free consumable planes, man. Great idea. Uh, but anyway, enemy DD, all he can really do at this point is run, although we're kind of really far away from anything, so we're not going to be able to get to any objectives and I guess secure more XP for ourselves. We also didn't go into A, as we were basically fighting everything and we wanted to clip that Yamato instead. But yeah, still a pretty decent match, 244,000. I mean, the DD is... I'm like 99% sure he's just running away at this point and gonna waste time. But yeah, it is what it is. We're just going to keep pushing in and I guess hope that the enemy destroyer gets spotted, and possibly we're going to be able to maybe get a full HE salvo in there. Kind of curious what it would have been like to have a legendary reload mod, because obviously we would have had, what, 2 stacks of legendary mod. Almost have a Monty medal as well, which I'm kind of glad we're currently avoiding. Enemy Z52 right on the edge of our range. We can't really see, so we're going to pray with our aim assist that we can land some shells. Z52 starts smoking up and running away. I guess he just wanted to pick up those resets. And now he just smokes up and he's going to go unspotted. But yeah, Castilla. Kind of interesting. Sort of not. I mean, I don't know. I sort of feel like we would have been better off with a Henry in this match. Just simply because, I mean, we have an 8-second reload, which I think is, I suppose, on par with the Castilla in terms of, I mean, you get 2 salvos for that 1 long reload, and, well, I mean, if we were to just divide that time, then it technically is the same amount of, well, almost the same amount. You do have that 2.5 second reload in between salvos, so I guess there is that. But then at the same time, Henry has a reload boost, so you kind of have some epic firepower on demand versus kind of having this long reload. I don't know. Henry also pens 38, so you're going to dumpster American battleships just as well. So it is what it is. It's just, I don't know. It's always difficult to kind of justify this. I really wish it was the drum mechanic instead, so you can fire that first salvo and that one would reload. And then you could just hold that second one for whenever you actually want to use it. But anyway, yeah, pretty decent match in Castilla. Too bad we didn't get any caps, otherwise I think we would have had much better XP. But for just farming things, I mean, 3,100 is pretty good and almost 250,000 damage. But yeah, Castilla, kind of interesting. The commander for it, I feel like isn't quite there. I mean, you do kind of need all of the gimmick skills and all of the reload that the commander offers. But at the same time, I still kind of wish we did have punch through. Because I think if we had punch through, then we could possibly mess with like AP build or something. But we don't really have that, so it's kind of rough. You also don't really want to use the unique legendary skill, because then that reload is absolutely horrendous. Having refill station for that 10% reload is almost a must on these cruisers, which kind of goes against what I like to do. But then again, stuff like a Tago, not a Tago, yeah, Ayla Tago, you don't have fully packed. So I guess there is that. But then again, that's why you're kind of kiting the whole time. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more and share with your friends, or leave a comment down below for other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway, guys, till next time, aloha.